There is a silent killer of ambition and joy in modern life, and it is not procrastination. It is the social clock. It is the phantom deadline you didn't agree to, the comparison monster fueled by a perfectly curated social feed, and the inner voice that whispers. This clock has convinced millions of conscious, capable people that they are fundamentally behind in life, simply because their unique journey does not fit a standardized, arbitrary schedule of career, marriage, or finances. It leverages your deepest fear, the fear of being insufficient, and turns it into chronic, debilitating anxiety. But what if I told you that the fear of being behind is the very thing keeping you from living fully in the only moment that matters, the present? What if the life you are desperately trying to rush toward is only possible once you dismantle the clock entirely? We are going to expose this lie today, revealing the ancient wisdom and modern psychology that proves you are not lost, you are not late, and your greatest achievements are only possible when you stop measuring your life by everyone else's timeline. Have you ever looked at your life and felt a sudden, deep panic, the kind that whispers? It's that familiar, sinking feeling you get when scrolling through social media, seeing someone younger than you achieve a milestone you haven't reached, or hearing a relative ask, "So, what is next?" This feeling is not just simple envy. It is the manifestation of a powerful, often subconscious psychological construct known as the social clock. This clock is the collective, unspoken timeline our society programs us to believe dictates when we must have the career, the house, the partner, or the children. It is not real, but its phantom ticking holds more power over our anxiety and self-worth than almost any real deadline. We internalize this external script so completely that we spend our lives measuring our dynamic, unique internal landscape against a static, manufactured public calendar. And the moment we deviate from its arbitrary schedule, the shame creeps in, convincing us that we have somehow failed the test of life itself. This is the most dangerous illusion because it leverages what modern psychology calls the bias of social comparison, where we constantly measure our interior, our doubts, our struggles, our process against everyone else's polished, curated exterior, their highlight reel, their finished product. We are not just comparing goals, we are comparing speed, and this obsession with speed forces us to miss the invaluable growth happening in our current moment. The truth is, the social clock is nothing more than a standardized factory setting for a world full of handmade, bespoke human journeys, and the intense pressure it generates causes us to cling fiercely to goals and milestones we set for ourselves years ago. Goals that were created by a past version of ourselves for a past version of life. This attachment, this refusal to update the map, is what truly keeps us feeling perpetually behind, because the destination is always receding as we fail to acknowledge that we are no longer the same traveler. This invisible deadline is not just making you feel late, it is making you blind to the blessings and the lessons of your present moment, forcing you to use a ruler that was never meant for your unique journey. That clinging to the past version of yourself, to the old goals, that is the real sabotage. It's a profound psychological phenomenon. Don't measure by goals from the past. Think about it. Who set those goals? A younger, less experienced you? operating with less information about the world, and, crucially, about your own evolving inner landscape. Perhaps your 22-year-old self drew a meticulous blueprint for the next decade, a specific salary, a particular city, a precise date for an engagement. But life happened. You evolved. You discovered hidden passions, faced unexpected setbacks, and your core values shifted. Yet, you carry that outdated document, that old blueprint, like a heavy debt, allowing the failure to meet its terms, to overshadow all your current successes. I once knew someone, let's call her Sarah, who defined her entire success by becoming a partner at a specific consulting firm by age 30. It was a goal she wrote down in college. She worked relentlessly, but by 29, she realized the long hours were destroying her relationships and her mental health. She hit the deadline, but the goal had become a poison. Instead of celebrating her success, she was miserable. She had achieved the outdated goal, but lost her true north. She couldn't let go, feeling that stepping away was failure, even though her heart was pulling her toward a quieter, more impactful life in non-profit work. Her past goal was essentially forcing her to punish her presentness. This is a subtle but destructive form of cognitive dissonance, where the reality of your current fulfillment clashes with the commitment you made to an old, ego-driven idea, and your mind desperately tries to resolve the conflict by deeming the reality wrong. The question you have to ask yourself is, are you committed to an outcome that once excited you, or are you committed to the feeling of fulfillment that you sought in the first place? If the path to that feeling has changed, the path must be honored. Holding on to the past goals is not loyalty. It is a refusal to accept the gift of the present moment's clarity. The wisdom of ancient mindfulness teaches us that attachment is the root of suffering, and this applies directly to our outdated life plans. When you release the past version of success, you create the space to truly succeed now. So, if we agree that the past goal is a phantom weight, the next step must be about radical liberation, deviating from the social clock entirely. This isn't about rebelling blindly. It is about choosing sovereignty over conformity. When you consciously decide to deviate, you engage in an act of profound self-respect. You are essentially telling the noise of the world and that anxious voice in your own head that your unique internal rhythm is more sacred than their arbitrary external timelines. This is where ancient mindfulness offers the ultimate antidote to the rush, the core philosophy of being fully present, of understanding that your Dharma, or your unique purpose, unfolds only in the now, completely dismantles the idea of being late. You can only be late if there is a fixed, universally correct time to arrive. But for your soul's journey, the only correct time is always this moment. Think of it like this. Your life is a bespoke piece of art, and society is trying to paint it with a stencil. When you surrender to the idea of radical acceptance, accepting your path exactly as it is, without the need to explain or justify it to anyone, you experience a powerful form of psychological liberation. You stop fighting your reality and start working with it. This shift in perspective is incredibly practical. Instead of asking, "Why am I not there yet?" which is a question rooted in judgment, You start asking, what is this moment trying to teach me? Which is a question rooted in growth. When you embrace the fact that your deviation is the path, you stop seeing your timeline as a deficiency and start recognizing it as a distinction. You are not off track. You are on a custom route. Every detour, every paused chapter, every delayed milestone is simply time being spent on a necessary emotional, spiritual, or intellectual foundation that the hurried path would have overlooked. The secret to escaping the social clock is realizing that the moment you stop chasing its tick, you become timeless, and the true work of your life can finally begin. Once you have successfully let go of the social clock's authority, the next psychological reframe is to shift your identity entirely. Stop using the word lost to describe yourself and start using the word experimenting. This is a fundamental principle of the growth mindset. You are not a finished product whose parts have failed to assemble correctly. You are a conscious experimenter, and your life is a laboratory. When a scientist runs an experiment and the hypothesis isn't confirmed, they don't declare themselves a failure and quit science. They say, I have data. They learn, they adjust, and they run the next iteration. Every job you left, every relationship that ended, every project that failed to launch, that is not a deficit on your report card. It is simply data that informs the next, smarter, more conscious step. Think of Alex, who spent his late 20s jumping between 5 different career paths: finance, photography, teaching, tech startup, and then finally, sustainable design. For years, he told himself and his family he was lost, paralyzed by the comparison to his settled peers. But when he shifted his perspective, he realized that in finance, he learned budgeting. In photography, he mastered visual communication. In teaching, he refined his leadership. And in the startup, he understood market pain points. When he finally landed in sustainable design, he wasn't starting from scratch. He was the only candidate who brought a multidisciplinary, holistic skill set to the table. His lost years were actually his most intense period of cross-training. This reframe from I am failing to find my path to I am collecting necessary data to build my ultimate path is the key to unlocking your forward momentum. It turns the feeling of anxiety into the energy of curiosity. It's about cultivating the courage to embrace the ambiguity, to see that your unique process of discovery is actually what will make your eventual success, whatever you define that to be, more resilient and authentic. The journey is not a straight line to be completed. It is a complex, beautiful arc of continuous learning. Your current path, however winding, is exactly where you need to be to gain the unique wisdom only this precise experiment can offer. If we are no longer running on the social clock, and we are now embracing the identity of the experimenter, the natural next question is, how do we measure success? The answer lies in redefining success on your terms. And crucially, this means setting concrete new inner metrics. For too long, we have relied on external, material milestones like titles, bank balances, or ring sizes, which are temporary and often lead to an immediate vacuum once achieved. True, sustainable success must be measured by what I call the inner markers. Instead of chasing a title, focus on the level of daily intentionality you bring to your work and your relationships. Instead of comparing bank accounts, measure the quality of connection you foster with the people who matter most. And rather than stressing over external failures, track your emotional resilience, how quickly and mindfully you bounce back from a setback. These inner markers are not vague ideas. They are measurable psychological realities tied directly to the self-determination theory, which posits that true well-being comes from meeting your needs for competence, relatedness, and autonomy. When you track these inner markers, you gain true authority over your feeling of success, because no external force can take that. This approach is profoundly healing because it shifts the focus from having to being. For example, instead of judging your day by whether you closed a big deal, an external, uncontrollable metric, judge it by whether you practiced depth of presence with your family and dedicated, focused, intentional work time, internal, controllable metrics. This ancient wisdom of seeking fulfillment within is the ultimate life hack. When you elevate your inner state, the external results often follow with less effort and more joy. When you finally claim that your success is defined by your peace of mind and the quality of your integrity, you become unshakable. You become immune to the judgments of the social clock because you have installed a superior internal chronometer. This new definition means you are succeeding right now simply by watching this and choosing to re-examine your life's priorities. Now, let's apply this new framework of self-definition to one of the most pressurized areas of life: relationships. This is where the social clock's ticking can sound the loudest, convincing you of the illusion of late marriage. The pressure to meet a partner, to get engaged, to be married by a certain age, is a cultural construct that, frankly, prioritizes timing over intentionality and status over substance. It leads to the profound mistake of rushing into a marriage because of a deadline rather than waiting for the deep, fundamental emotional readiness and genuine compatibility that sustains a lifelong bond. Think about the stark contrast between a deadline wedding and a discovery relationship. I once met two people whose stories perfectly illustrate this. One felt the relentless pressure to be married by 30, achieving the milestone with the first person who fit the criteria, only to realize 2 years in they were deeply incompatible, leading to an emotionally taxing divorce. Their marriage was a sprint to the finish line of the social clock, and the consequence was burnout. Contrast that with my friend Maria, who was 38 and single. For years, she felt late, but she consciously shifted her focus to self-discovery, emotional healing, and defining her non-negotiables. When she finally met her partner at 40, she wasn't looking for a savior or a checkmark. She was looking for a co-creator whose values aligned with her fully formed sense of self. Their bond was deep, intentional, and built on the solid foundation of two people who had done their individual work. Her relationship was a discovery, built on wisdom and patience. The psychological trap is believing that you are missing out on happiness because you haven't yet found a partner, when the real work is ensuring you are emotionally whole and ready before you commit. A marriage or any close relationship rushed out of fear of being late often bypasses the necessary phase of vetting for emotional alignment and core values. True compatibility is not a matter of age. It is a matter of profound inner alignment. So, you are not late in love. You are simply taking the intentional time to ensure your most important life decision is based on deep wisdom, not societal anxiety. The right timing is the moment you are fully ready to receive and give love in a healthy, whole, and conscious way. This focus on the quality of connection over the timing of the commitment brings us to the unshakable scientific truth that serves as the ultimate anchor for this entire conversation. Close relationships lead to better health. This isn't just motivational fluff. This is the core finding of the longest running study on adult life, the Harvard Study of Adult Development, which has tracked participants for over 80 years. The data is stunningly clear. It is not wealth, career success, or physical fitness that predicts our long-term happiness and longevity. It's the quality of our close relationships. The meaning is profound. The human connection is the single greatest determinant of a fulfilling life. What this science tells us is that all the energy we spend stressing over the social clock, over that promotion, that perfect house, or that arbitrary marriage date is misdirected. The true investment, the one that pays the highest dividends in both health and happiness, is the intentional cultivation of deeply loving, supportive, and safe relationships. When we feel safe and connected, our stress hormones decrease, our immune systems strengthen, and our brains stay active longer. This insight from modern psychology, particularly attachment theory, confirms the ancient wisdom that we are wired for connection. When you feel behind in life, the best thing you can do is not to speed up your career chase, but to slow down and deepen your existing bonds or mindfully seek new ones. It means calling that friend you've been meaning to connect with, dedicating a dinner to uninterrupted conversation, or simply being fully present when someone you care about is sharing a moment with you. The real measure of your life is not what you accumulate, but the reservoir of love and support you build. This is the ultimate reassurance. You are never too late to start investing in connection, and that investment is the single most powerful way to guarantee a life of enduring well-being. The greatest race we should all be running is the race toward meaningful connection. So, let's bring all of this wisdom into the final defining declaration. You're not late. Start now. This is not just a motivational phrase. It is the ultimate act of radical acceptance and self-compassion. The very idea of being late is based on the false premise that life has a single, universal schedule. But your unique journey is your destiny, and the beautiful, complex path you are on right now is the only one that can lead you to your authentic self. The wisdom of ancient mindfulness teaches us that the power to change, to pivot, to forgive ourselves, and to begin anew is always available in the present breath. No matter how many years have passed, how many perceived failures have accumulated, or how loud the social clock is ticking, you always have the immediate power to choose a new metric for success, a new identity as an experimenter, and a new focus on genuine connection. The great psychological shift happens when you stop seeing your current circumstances as a problem to be fixed and start seeing them as the fertile ground for your next, most meaningful chapter. If you are feeling behind, it is simply your soul giving you a powerful, compassionate signal that the priorities you are measuring yourself against are no longer aligned with the person you have become. The action is not to rush forward, but to pause and course, correct your inner compass. Stop chasing the ghost of the life you thought you should have, and start intentionally building the life you want to have, based on your redefined inner markers, your quality of connection, your emotional resilience, and your daily intentionality. The universe is not grading you on a timeline. It is rewarding you for the depth of your presence and the courage of your authenticity. The most powerful time to start living a life defined by your own terms, anchored in deep connection and profound self-awareness, is not tomorrow or next year, but right here, right now. It is time to let go of the old blueprint and embrace the magnificent, messy, perfectly timed journey you are already on. I want you to make a commitment right now. In the comments below, share one goal from the past that you are officially giving yourself permission to let go of today, or one new inner metric you are adopting. Let's start building a community defined by wisdom, not deadlines.